Almost every time we go online, we encounter them. The lines and lines of seemingly pointless text that we usually ignore, scanning and scrolling to the bottom, consenting so we can go on with our lives. But what is really contained in those lengthy paragraphs? What are we missing? The truth is, hidden in the lengthy paragraphs are legal restrictions, regulations, and responsibilities that we are being held to, and many of us aren't even aware of. For example, how many of you actually read the terms of agreement that preceded this video? Yeah, that's what we thought. Our job here at Inspire is to inform you and open your eyes, inspiring you to find out what we have all been dismissing until now. That box that we check without any regard. We want to expose the inattentiveness we have for the terms of agreement and reveal the crucial data that is often overlooked. Rather than allow you, our followers, to be naive, we want you to be prepared for all of the pitfalls of the internet that involve you and your personal information. We hope that this becomes a step for all of us towards a more complete digital literacy and safety. What we are agreeing to is a set of agreements created by a service provider, a private, binding legal contract typically written in a way that favors the provider rather than the user. Clicking I agree, under the law, you must follow those terms in order to continue using the service. If you don't, then many legal ramifications could be on your way. Not only this, but it's written with extensive use of legal terms and vocabulary that the average person couldn't read unless they're a lawyer. And of course, the average person is not a lawyer. Those that attempt to read the terms of service tend to skim through it or go to the first paragraph or two and fail to understand most of the terminology used. How can we agree to a terms of service if we don't even understand what anything means in it? This is where we come in. The website tosdr.org, Terms of Service Didn't Read, is a very useful tool in figuring out what some of the more popular websites' terms of agreement are and what they actually mean in translated legalese. Take one of the most universal web services used by over 45 million people every month, iTunes. Hidden within the text of the terms of service are not only legal ramifications, but financial responsibilities, as well as rights given to online businesses regarding your personal information. Certain websites in which you pour your own personal information, like Facebook and Twitter, and sites where you display your creativity, like Instagram, all have clauses in their terms of agreement that dictate what they can do with your personal intellectual property. In 2011, Sony was able to sue customers who supposedly violated the terms of service for breach of contract, a serious and usually pricey offense. In 1994, AOL was the violator, selling its customers' personal information to marketers without making a clause in their terms of agreement. Instagram, one of the most popular sites for artistic expression, made a change to their terms of service in regards to their advertising policy near the end of 2012 that angered its users. The change stated that any business could pay for Instagram to take your content and connect it to an advertisement without any compensation to you. And the sad thing is, if Instagram didn't announce it like AOL didn't almost 20 years ago, you wouldn't even have known it was there. Fortunately enough, however, after the not-so-surprising user uproar against the change, Instagram reverted back to their 2010 advertising policy, and users slowly returned to the mobile app and website. The lack of knowledge many of us have for the legal ramifications in terms of agreement continues through to the lack of knowledge we have for other significant laws online, especially those pertaining to copyright, the legal ownership of content. With the creation of the internet, copyright violation has become a massive issue, especially with the pirating and illegal downloading of music and movies. Record companies and other rights holders have become panicked at the money that they are losing and went to Congress for help. The copyright alert system is backed by the Obama administration and stipulates that mitigation measures will be taken against violators of copyright law. This means that the government is allowed to reduce your internet speed or take control of your computer and send it to an educational page if you violate the act, not to mention the mere $150,000 fine for each infringement. It really is time to educate ourselves on these laws, especially with these new enforcements and possible legal actions put against the guilty and unaware parties. To the user's discretion, there is an option to say yes or no to things that are, in all actuality, uncalled for. Uncalled for because, well, no one bothered to read it. The user has the right to know what they are agreeing to, but most aren't taking advantage of this right, but rather disregarding it. The internet is for the swift and busy-minded. Not everybody has the time, but the time needs to be taken. These things that we miss, the things that we ignore, could put our privacy and content into jeopardy. Add the inattentiveness to copyright and digital media laws, and there's our creativity and innovation put in danger as well. We need to be aware. We need to take those couple of minutes to read rather than to be completely uninvolved in the safety of ourselves and our property online. Would you agree to something without hearing it? Sign a binding legal contract without reading it? That's right, you wouldn't.